All right, let's dive into something hilarious and honestly, pretty deep. It's the story of one guy's epic, one-day mission to do something most of us don't even think about, just being normal. So it all kicks off on a Monday morning. Our hero, a guy named Rohit, wakes up and makes this super serious promise to his pillow. And this promise, it's a shocking one, a dangerous one. I mean, the story says even his pillow was like, wait, what? Okay, so why is wanting to be normal such a big deal? Why is it so audacious? Well, to get that, you've got to meet the man himself, Rohit. You see, Rohit has, well, let's call it a special set of skills when it comes to being not normal. He's kind of famous for three things. First, he's always, and I mean always, late. Second, he has this incredible talent for losing things that are, still in his hands. And third, he can take the simplest situation and turn it into this huge, dramatic production. So yeah, for him, being normal for a day, that's not a small tweak. It's basically a war against his own personality. All right, so the stage is set. Rohit is ready. He kicks off his first set of missions. And suddenly, every boring, everyday task becomes this huge, important step in his quest. First up on the list, the two absolute cornerstones of a normal day, waking up on time and, eating a decent breakfast. And his strategy here, you got to admit, is pretty impressive. We're not talking about just one alarm. Oh no, this is a 5-layered defense system against his own brain. You've got the gentle nudges, then the slightly more serious pokes, and then the final all-out existential panic button. Get up or you'll be poor forever. I mean, with that kind of motivation, this has to work, right? And nope. Mission 1 is a spectacular failure. After that whole military-grade alarm operation, Rohit finally wakes up at 9:47 a.m. Precisely. He just stares at his phone and whispers, "Wow, even my alarms have given up on me." But you know what? Our hero does not quit. He pulls himself together, trying to channel the power of a normal person, even while he's actively failing in the most human way you can imagine. What a trooper. Okay, on to mission number 2, the healthy breakfast. The expectation? Super simple, something normal, something, good for you. The reality, though, the reality of what's inside his fridge is like a sad little painting. We're talking 1/2 of an onion, a lemon that's clearly given up on life, and some milk that has, let's just say, it's developed a personality. So, what does a normal person do when faced with this? Well, Rohit takes a moment, thinks really hard, closes the fridge, and orders a double cheese pizza. And his justification? It's simple. And honestly, it's kind of brilliant. He just says, balance is important. You know what? You really can't argue with that. So, let's recap. 2 missions down, 0 for 2. We're now moving on to the next massive hurdle on the road to normal, the absolutely terrifying task of being productive. So he sits down, totally determined. He's going to have 1 hour of full focus, okay? 5 minutes later, he's watching a video titled, "What if Humans Had Tails?" 30 minutes after that, he's basically the world's leading expert on human tails. And by the time the hour is up, he has spiraled into a full-blown existential crisis. Come on, we've all been there, right? And just when he's trying to get back on track, his phone buzzes. It's his friend Aman. Rohit, bravely tells him he's trying to be productive. And Aman's reply is just, it's the perfect call of the procrastinator. Same, let's waste time together. And boom, just like that, friendship wins. Productivity never even stood a chance. All right, the quest is now entering its most dangerous territory yet, actually interacting with the outside world. And here, the challenges aren't so much about self-control. They're about dealing with, well, dogs and family. Rohit figures, okay, I'll take a walk. That's what responsible adults do. So he steps outside and immediately forgets why he's there. And as he's just standing there, a dog walks by and gives him this look. You know the one? A look of such deep judgment that Rohit feels it in his bones. It's like the dog is saying, dude, even I have a purpose. So completely humbled, he just goes back inside. So back inside, he has to face the family gauntlet. First, his mom asks if he ate. Oh, she knows. She can see the pizza box. And that silence, The story says it hurts way more than if she'd yelled at him. Then his dad asks about his plans, and the subtext is just screaming at him. They're just asking simple questions, but to Rohit, they mean something completely different. So the day ends, night falls, and it's time for a little performance review. Rohit's lying in bed, totally exhausted, from the sheer effort of doing basically nothing all day. And he has to face the music, the results of his big one-day experiment. And the final scorecard? Well, it's not looking good. Woke up early? That's a big no. Ate healthy? Also no. Worked properly? Not even close. And the big one? Did he act like a normal person? A huge, resounding failure. I mean, by every possible measure, the mission was a total disaster. So, looking at all the evidence, the answer seems pretty obvious, right? But was the day really a complete failure? And this is where the twist comes in. Because as he's lying there, surrounded by the evidence of his normal day gone wrong, Rohit doesn't feel like a failure. He just laughs. And he has this sudden amazing thought. Maybe this whole being normal thing is just totally overrated. Which, of course, brings us to the real takeaway from Rohit's wild journey. See, it's not about being perfect. It's about what you learn when you try and, fail spectacularly. So if you think about it, what was the most productive thing Rohit did all day? It wasn't waking up early. It wasn't focusing on work. It was that simple but really powerful moment where he just laughed at himself, where he accepted his own weird, funny, imperfect self. And really, that's the whole point, isn't it? That pressure we all feel to be normal can be absolutely exhausting. But happiness, it's not about getting a perfect score. It's about being okay with who you are. Pizza for breakfast, existential crises, the whole shebang. That night, before he goes to sleep, Rohit sets one last alarm. But this time, the label isn't some scary threat. It's an invitation. And it leaves us with a really powerful final thought. Maybe the point isn't to be perfectly on time for everything, but to just be perfectly present for your own life.